the Honorable Minister for Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi. He joins us from Abuja now. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on State of the Nation at this time. Now, let's take a look at what you've been able to achieve. You have a roadmap for developing the railway infrastructure from a narrow to a standard gauge. As such, you want a loan of $5.8 billion, we understand, from the China Exim Bank. How has this initiative gone to this point?
Yes, the loan facility was applied before we came into office, I have said earlier. Then at the point we came in, we needed to upgrade our current infrastructure. The infrastructure we met in office is the narrow gauge, and the narrow gauge, like you know, has the western flank and the eastern flank, and we had agreed to concession both the western and eastern flank of the narrow gauge, and we're currently engaged in a negotiation with GE to concession the narrow gauge. To modernize that, Obasanjo had to put in place a program of a 25-year program, which we are just implementing. I was invited by the Senate, and my position was that the senator who moved the motion was the senator when those contracts were awarded. Obasanjo awarded the Lagos to Kano, and President Goodluck Jonathan also awarded the Lagos to Calabar. What he says is outstanding is the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, which our government is currently processing the loan facility to enable us also award that.
Now, that seems to be one of the problems that we are having in this situation. The eastern part of the country say that they're excluded in the plan, despite having, a rail link to Port Harcourt and Calabar. Why are they, according to them, why do they feel that they are being excluded in this whole scheme?
They're not excluded. They're just trying to politicize the issue. They're completely not excluded. If you look at the coastal rail, which starts from Lagos to Calabar, from the point we are going to construct between this year and next year, you will see that the Port Harcourt to Calabar rail segment, which we are constructing, covers on Aba. Like I said yesterday at the Senate, we could have chosen to go through the Ogoni area to Uyo, but what government decided to do was to construct from Port Harcourt to Aba to Uyo, and Uyo to Calabar. And I'm aware that Aba is part of the southeast region. It's in Abia State. If you also look at the section from Lagos to Benin, there's also another spur from Benin to Onitsha. So we're constructing from Benin to Abo to Asaba to Onitsha. And Onitsha is part of Anambra State. They can't claim to have been excluded. Finally, around March, we wrote, I think between March and April, we wrote a memo to the President requesting for approval to negotiate a contract of 16.6 billion. And in that, with about 4 or 5 areas were covered. There is the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. In the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, you have Port Harcourt to Aba to Umuahia to Enugu. But between Aba and Umuahia, there is a spur to Owerri. Between Enugu and Makurdi, there is a spur to Abakaliki. Then from Enugu, you go to Makurdi to Jos to Bauchi to Gombe, but just through Lafia to Gombe, and then from Gombe to Yola and Damaturu, and then finally to Borno. So there's no way, apart from politics, that anybody can try to say that the Igbos were excluded. And I made it clear yesterday when I appeared before the Senate that it is important that Senator Baribari does not deny me my Igbo heritage. As like an Igbo man, I can't sit down there. And if you want to be ethnic, if you want to be sectional, and deny the Igbo people the right to be transported. By the way, development is not about ethnic sections. It's about economy. And you cannot deny that the Igbos contribute tremendously to the economic growth of Nigeria. So if you leave them out, what are you trying to achieve? You don't play politics with economy, because you would rather grow poverty instead of growing wealth. And therefore, they're not left out.
Will it make sense if the railways are connected to all viable state capitals using this particular Exim Bank loan rather than expanding the existing infrastructure?
I can't hear you.
I said, will it make more sense if, for instance, we have the railways connected to viable city centers? You identify some of the states that are viable, And then you have this railway extended to the city centers, their capitals that is, instead of using the monies to improve on an infrastructure that is already there.
We're not using the money to, you see, that's the point. Again, I talk about the kind of information that is being sent out. We're not using the money to improve on the infrastructure. The current infrastructure that exists, which is the narrow gauge, we're leaving for GE to improve on them. And that one, we're not spending our money. GE is going to bring the resources and rebuild that infrastructure and run it for the number of years that will agree and recover their money. That is the improvement on the narrow gauge. We're building a new railway infrastructure. The new railway infrastructure will go from Lagos to Kano. And the Lagos to Kano will go to Lagos to Ibadan to Ilorin, and we're going to get to Ekiti, Ilorin to Mina, Ilorin to Mina to Abuja, and then Mina to Kaduna, Kaduna to Kano. That's the Lagos to Kano, which is the modernization project. Then the one from south, the coastal rail, starts from Lagos through Abeokuta, through Ore, and goes to Benin, goes to Abo, Asaba, Onitsha, to Warri, Sapele, Uweli, to Yenegua, to Tuoke, to Port Harcourt, to Aba, to Uyo, and Calabar. Now, coming from the new flank, which is the eastern flank that we're about to award once we get the loan, you then cover all the southeastern states and the state capitals. All. The directive of the president that we must cover all the state capitals. So no one will be left out, including Akure. We are making an adjustment of the Lagos Calabar to include Akure. We're also making an adjustment of the Lagos Kano to include Ekiti that was not part of it. And finally, to make sure you had the economic benefit, we say that all our rail lines must terminate at the seaports. So I don't know where this information is coming from.